Okay, so in this last video for making our little 3D printed maze game here, I was going to look at making the box, but something just occurred to me, and that is we hadn't talked here about exporting this as an STL file for 3D printing, a standard tessellation language file. So all I need to do here to export this, I can't go to export like this because if I do, it's going to export. Here we go, let's just load that up. It's going to export everything, including the ball and including these wall guides that I created earlier. So that is no good. What I need to do here is put a selection box around what I want to actually export and then go to the export button, and that will allow me to select just those three shapes as an STL file. And let's just open that one up there. And what I'm going to get is just the maze and those two ramps. So that's what I am after. So this can now be sent to our 3D printer, and we will get, as a result, this element created. Okay, obviously with the two ramps as separate elements, and then we'll be sticking these on. And of course, the reason why we're 3D printing it like this is because if I turn this over, you can see the base of this is flat, and so there's no support material required in the 3D print. Okay, fantastic. So let's have a look here at making the box. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is come to a new website. Let's just make this full screen here. A new website which is called MakerCase. I'll type in there MakerCase, and it's en.makercase.com. I'm going to click on this. Now, you'd have probably used this software with me already in previous projects, but if you haven't, I need to have a simple, a simple box. I'm going to work in millimeters, and I want to make sure that this 3D printed element can fit inside the box. Now, as I mentioned in my first video, it doesn't quite fit in this box. This 3D element is 70 by 70 millimeters in this width and this depth here. And I made it so the internal dimensions of this box were also 70 by 70. But because of the nature of the 3D print, it's just slightly too large. It kind of like just squashes out the size here and makes it slightly more than 70. So it's not quite going to fit in. So I'm going to make these internal dimensions 70.5. Now maybe it wants to be 71, but I'm going to risk it and try 70.5. So in here, I'm going to put my width to be 70.5 and my depth as 70.5, and then my height. Now let's just have a little think about that very, very quickly. This foot here is 10 millimeters, at least the cube section is. Then I've got 2 millimeters for the base of the maze. Then I've got a 10 millimeter wall thickness. So that's 10 plus 2 plus 10. Now in my mind, that makes 22. So I'm going to put this as a height of 22. Now again, maybe because of slight variations in thickness, I'm going to put 22.5. And I want this to be the inside dimension, not the external dimension, because I want this to fit inside the box. The material thickness is 3. I want it to be closed because even though at the moment this box is open, there is a finger joint frame at the top here, and I'm going to have an acrylic window just like this one has. Although I think that's some kind of PET material. This is going to have an acrylic window, and then I can make sure the ball doesn't get lost and fall out. And so it wants to be closed, and I'm going to have a finger joints here, and you can adjust the size of the finger joints here. And I like the idea of having slightly smaller finger joints. I think it always looks nice in small box to have kind of like more finger joints like that. Okay, and then finally what I'm going to do here is download the box plans. Just make sure you get the dimensions right there. I'm going to download the box plans here. Here they are as a DXF file. Okay, there it is. That's going to be now in my downloads. And then now I can go to TechSoft Design V3. Okay, we've got an issue there with our license, but the IT department promises it's going to be fixed. And here we go. We are now going to make sure I always go with my 5mm pale blue grid lines. Okay, I'm going to go to bitmaps, import bitmap. I'm going to come to this PC. I'm going to go to downloads. I'm going to select. Oh, now then, hang on a second here. Where did that download go to? Because I can see here, I can't see the downloads for that box. Let's just investigate. Okay, well that's strange because I've gone to my downloads folder and look, there is my box. And I think I know why. It's because I went to bitmaps and import bitmap. And of course, I don't want to import a bitmap. I want to import a DXF file because, whoops, I don't want that. Because when I downloaded this, it downloaded it as a DXF. And for TechSoft, what I want there is to go to File, Import File. And now I can see that DXF, please say it's there. It's an AutoCAD file. It wants to be in there somewhere. Look, DXF files. There we are. It supports DXF files. So let's try again there. Let's come to this PC. Let's go to downloads. And yes, look, there it is. There's my preview. Open that. I've got gridlock turned on, by the way. I'm going to go millimeters. I'm going to load it as a group. Click on OK. And there is my, there's my CAD file. Okay, don't forget that I need to make sure that this is going to be blue for cut. So I'm going to come to the contour tool here. I'm going to put a 0mm graphical path here in blue. The blue here for cutting is this blue at the bottom. And I'm now going to click on the external, not on the line, not inside the line, but just outside the line for each of those cutouts. And that is now ready for me to go ahead and laser cut. Oh, not quite, because remember that I'm going to have the box made from some sort of opaque material. In this case, is this lovely veneered birch, and the top is going to be acrylic. So there's one more thing I need to do here. I need to basically, let's see here. Remember that this is all still grouped together. Let's Control U to ungroup, or edit and ungroup. I've already done it, so you can see it's grayed out now. And then let's just make sure that these, select all those. I think I'm going to Control G, group those together. I'm going to bring all these up to the top here. And the bottom, let's select this. I'm going to group that together. Let's bring that up and pop it there, because that's all going to be part of the same piece, the same material. In fact, yeah, I'm gonna do that. And then this is going to be an acrylic. Let's group that together and let's just have that as a separate element. And then when we take this to the laser cutter, what we will do is we'll do all these sections in the wood finish, and then we'll have this in clear acrylic as the top section. And then when we put it all together, we will have all those elements ready. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to pause this video, make the box, and then present it at the end of this video and check that this fits. And remember here that I'm working with these dimensions with 0.5 millimeter increase. It may be that I need to put that to 71, 23, and 71. We will find out shortly. See you any second in the video. It's going to take me a few minutes in real life, okay? Okay, so after a bit of going backwards and forwards with this, I've come up with a final product. So here we are. This is the final thing here. It's actually gluing still. I've got to be a little bit careful with this. And you can see I've been able to get the maze to fit inside the box there. I've also got the lid. I've also got the marble. So I haven't popped these in yet. So I'm going to do this right now. Let's pop that there. There we are. It's going to roll underneath. Before I go any further, let's make sure this is all actually working. The marble goes in. I can work my way around there. Good, got to be careful here. Oh no, and I failed. Oh dear. I've got to come from this side. Get the marble to go up there. Yep. Yes, good. Okay, along here, but not too far. That was nice. Can I do this? Oh, and I failed again. So I'm going to need a bit more practice on this, clearly. Maybe I've made it too hard. And then here's my acrylic lid. Just make sure that that fits in there. And I'm actually doing this while it's still gluing, so I'm thinking that might actually be a good idea. And there we have, that is now my maze game. Hard though it may be, come on, finished. Oh, okay, and so on and so forth. So there it is. Now I just want to highlight a few things here. First of all, in the first model that I made over here, which was too small, this was 70 by 70 internal dimensions. I had a little message on here. I just chose some students' names and just I did this on the 5th of September, so I was just playing with the idea there. With this final version I'm showing you here, I didn't bother putting anything on there, but I always like my designs to have some empathic touch, and if I'm making this for someone, it would be nice to have some engraving somewhere on here, even possibly the top face here, although I've tried to keep it nice and clean in this particular case. So that was the original that was too small. This was the one that I made based on the end of my last discussion, which basically was 0.5 millimeter wider and deeper here, or width and length, and then the height here I increased by 0.5 millimeter as well, and that was actually also too small for this. So but I was able to do some more careful calculations with this, and I ended up choosing these dimensions right here. So you want to have 71 for the width, 71 for the depth, and then the height actually wants to be 23. So I've increased the width and the depth by 1 millimeter, that's the X and the Y dimension, and then the Z axis, I've actually increased that by 2 millimeters. So that's the X and the Y has been increased by 1, and the depth here I've increased by 2 millimeters because I found that otherwise there wasn't quite enough space to neatly put my lid on here. And that is finished. So just a few other things to highlight here. I used a glue gun to join the ramps onto the maze here. I used PVA glue to glue the box together. I actually used a bit of PVA glue as well to glue the maze into the box. I don't know how effective that's going to be, but I felt as if PVA glue gun was going to be a bit too thick. And the lid for the time being is just a friction fit just sitting on there. So I think for the time being, that seems to be holding up pretty well. I'm going to leave it there to set. This is done. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found that useful. Good luck with making your own maze.